Welcome back to Canoe Live. South Asian Canadian star Karen David is a triple threat. She's an actress, singer, and songwriter who's taking Hollywood by storm. The Toronto native will be appearing in Universal Studios' prequel, The Scorpion King: Rise of the Acadian. And here she is singing the theme song for Provoked, a film which she also appeared in. And Karen David joins us now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You have such a lovely voice, and
thank
you're
you.
so talented. But let's talk about your background. You're a mix of cultures.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a mutt.
Your mom's Chinese, your dad's Indian.
Yeah.
You're born in India, raised in Toronto. How was it growing up for you?
You know, as a kid, trying to explain to other 6-year-olds that, you know, oh, I'm Chinese and Indian Jewish, and it's just going to a Catholic school. It was just all really too complex for other kids, and you know, they can be a bit mean, and I was, you know, being a bit different. You just, I think as a kid, you just want to fit in and be Canadian. But as you get older, you start to embrace those quirks about yourself, and certainly that's a reflection in my music.
Well, let's talk about how you got into singing as well as acting. What drew you?
Well, when I was a little girl, I was about 6 years old, and my father would read the newspapers every weekend to my sister and I. And he wanted us to know about current events, be these Mensa brains. And we saw this ad that said, looking for cute kids for a Jell-O commercial with Bill Cosby. And I don't know what came over me, I just tore it and tore it from the page, and I stuck into my parents' room, and I dialed, and I got the casting director, and I ended up getting the part. And that kind of started everything for me. I knew right from when I was a little girl that I wanted to sing and I wanted to act. And my parents said, well, look, you come from a very normal family where we have no connections in the industry, so you're going to have to work really hard and make those things happen. So I was quite determined since I was a little girl since then to make those dreams come true.
Well, just a bit ago, we heard you sing the soundtrack from the movie Provoked, which you also appeared in, along with Bollywood actress Aishwarya Rai. Why was that film so controversial?
It was a big case in England about Kiranjit Ahluwalia, who had suffered from 10 years of domestic violence, and one night she had set her husband on fire. So it was an ongoing case because she was charged for her husband's murder, but later was released after the support of the Southall Black Sisters, which is one of the characters that I play, that helped Kiranjit for her appeal, which she was later released 3 years into her sentence.
It's been very
it was, yes, I mean, it was a big case, and but it was also really good profile for the Southall Black Sisters and what they do for women, but in particular for women of ethnic minorities and who are suffering from domestic violence. So it was such a pleasure to meet the women at the Southall Black Sisters. It was the first time playing a character, a true life, based on a true life person. So it was a wonderful movie to be a part of.
Just how important is it for you to celebrate your South Asian roots and the projects that you're involved with?
I think, like as I said, as you get older, you start to embrace your roots and you start to accept your, you know, what you're all about. And it was really important for me to add that in some way with my music. I wanted very much to embrace my Chinese side of me and my Indian side of me as well. So I went to India and I worked with A.R. Rahman, who's a huge Bollywood composer, and we recorded over there, and with the orchestras there and the string players and the tablas and percussion and the exotic instruments. I wanted that exoticism kind of mixed with my mainstream pop influences of growing up in Canada. So that's very much a reflection of what the album's going to be about.
Yeah, I have your EP here, but your debut album, Me vs. Me, is going to be coming out soon. What was it like putting that together?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, it's been a long journey in the making, and it's based on, you know, different experiences that I've been through my whole life, including, you know, growing up being a bit different, which it's funny when you start to write about very personal things, it all of a sudden becomes universal. And on my MySpace site, it's wonderful when you get messages from fans who come to the gigs and some of the concerts, and they say, you know what, I love that song, I can totally relate to that. So that just is icing on the cake for me.
Well, best of luck on all your endeavors, and we really appreciate having you in. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And for more information about Karen and where you can see her next, log on to KarenDavid.com. We're going to take a break now, but we'll be back with more on Canoe Live. Remember, we want your thoughts, your pics, your videos on these stories and more at canoelive.ca. You send it, the world gets it.